Hi everybody, I'm Raven the Swift, and today, some of you probably been watching my tournament review series, and today I'm going to give you guys something a little bit different. In this part, I'm going to give you guys my point of view on what I'm seeing and what I'm reading on some of these players as they engage in the combat. My point of view is going to be taken from the person who has control of the ring, and they're going to be fighting the person that enters the ring. Don't think I've reviewed this before, so this could be pretty interesting. And yeah, I hope you guys have some discover something new. If you guys have any comments and stuff, let me know at the end of the video or whatever. Anyway, let's go. Okay, let's go ahead and pause it right here. Okay, Jamie has control of the center, and Vendor walks up. Vendor's stance is pretty high. His guard is somewhat neutral. His dome shield is actually slightly forward and guarding his hip more than it should be. Most dome shield users tend to anchor that shield onto their shoulder, and they stand in a shield foot forward stance. You can do sword foot forward, but the dynamic is a little bit different. Let's go ahead and look. Okay, his guard's low, throws his 9's undershot. If I was Jamie, probably throw a counter. Yeah. So Jamie ended up throwing that counter at the time that she did because Vendor's opening attack was a direct attack. And then she probably knew that his second attack was probably going to be a direct attack. And possibly because that you can throw a counter in between. If your opponent doesn't have much of a setup, they can basically do whatever they want. Yep. Okay, so this next guy came in. He's got a down spear. His guard is wide. He throws a flick shot and a short shallow attack. Okay, let's back that up. Okay, first thing to note here is this guy's going to throw a shallow attack with his down spear and kind of holds it aloof and doesn't quite threaten with it as much as you should be. Jamie reads that he throws a down spear attack and then he throws a shot with his short sword here. And he's going to leave his guard somewhat open. And because he leaves his down spear hanging out here in a moment, Jamie's able to take control of it. Yeah, that down spear tip's weak. Jamie comes with a parry and kills him. Makes sense. Okay, the next guy comes in. Okay, here's immediately what I see. This guy threw a cross shot, and he crosses his feet. He didn't really change his elevation at all, but he did cross his feet, which is important. Jamie might try to come in here with probably a cross counter and then maybe boardside shoulder. I'm going to back that up. Jamie wins the aggression here. That guy came in basically kind of reactionary into that exchange. Like he closed ground but didn't really do anything. Jamie decided to be more aggressive when they're close range, and that tends to be pretty good at killing people. So, yeah. All right. Jamie versus Ferrex. Ferrex with a down sword here. That's important to know. His shield's slightly smaller, but their footwork is pretty good. Let's see what Jamie's thinking about here. Jamie's keeping that guard low. Oh, nice. Inside leg shot. So, one thing... damn it. I'm going to go back. So one thing Jamie's going to notice here right away is his stance is high right now. And he takes a crossing step here and kind of crosses his center line, bringing that sword side leg to be exposed. And no matter what Jamie throws into this quadrant, the sword side hip quadrant, it's probably going to hit something. And because Ferrex's shield is high and his hand is high, he's unlikely to devote both pieces of equipment to blocking that quadrant. And he ends up going to blocking part of his hip, but it ends up hitting his leg instead because of it. If he had a sword there to block, he could have blocked his leg as well. But I think maybe using better range control would have possibly saved his leg here. Yeah, leg shot. Good. Jamie took away his foot. That's good. Jamie also getting the leg. I'm not really sure what Jamie was reading there. Okay, Ferrex versus, I don't know what this person's name is. So, from my point of view as Ferrex, this individual here, their feet are close together, their stance is high. They're using a medium shield, which is no concern, but adequately covers their body, which leaves them vulnerable to low line attacks. but they're likely to throw their hips back and probably throw some long cross attack because they are very tall. Yep, just like that. Notice that Ferrex baited out that cross attack and then stabbed them with his down sword. As you probably should, because their stance was high. They can't move their feet. Ferrex versus Termis. Okay. I know if I'm Ferrex, I know that Termis has a very good press game. He's relatively patient, but his pressing is pretty deadly. If I'm Ferrex here, I'm probably going to try to feint high with when Termis goes into... He's going to step into attack, basically, and because he's the one initiating, he kind of has to block a shot first. If I'm Ferrex, I'm going to feint and attack, then throw at his legs. Let's see what Ferrex does. Or he can double fake high and maybe throw a money shot or something. Yeah, he's got that board foot forward stance. Yeah, hip shot. Let's go back real quick. So this is an important moment to notice that Ferrex had feinted with his down sword and threw high. And because Termis is shield foot forward, Termis is thinking, oh, this is my moment. He's going to come forward. Ferrex is going to maintain that position. He's going to throw a money shot. See? Ferrex versus Vendor. I don't know if I'm Ferrex, I probably haven't been watching Vendor yet. Let's see what happens. Okay, he's gonna pump fake that sword. Okay, so he fished out an attack with that sword, with his down sword, and then Ferrex did a pump fake towards Vendor's board side shoulder. And what this does is when you're giving your opponent multiple stimuli, they're likely to counter. So Vendor, as a result, showed him that he's willing to counter with that bottom low to high like arm sweep attack. Yeah. Okay, they reset. That's a shame. Okay, but Ferrex is gonna get really aggressive with his down spear. Yeah. Good. That's exactly what you should do when someone has reach on you. Close ground on them. Ferrex versus Laughing Shield Man. Again, Laughing Shield, Smiley Face Shield guy is crossing his feet while he's moving laterally in a circle towards Ferrex. I'm going to bet Ferrex is going to give him 2 stimuli to the top quadrants and then throw a money shot. Or he's going to give him a stimuli to the sword side quadrant, pump fake low, then throw board side shoulder. Let's see what happens. Yep. Ferrex versus Jamie again. Okay. Ferrex came in, kind of pump faked in, threatening range, drawing Jamie's aggressive attack. Oh, Ferrex there in there. Nice. Okay, take 2 of this individual in Ferrex. Ferrex throwing out that down sword. Board side shoulder, I'm guessing? I think he's throwing board side shoulder. No. They're posting. Board side shoulder. Oh, they missed. Yeah, they missed. He should have committed more to that board side shoulder. He would have got it. He's being a little half-hearted there. Terminus looking to close ground here. Shot's got a little wild there, but he's fighting a taller person with a weaker... They're a tall person, so you're going to want to close range, but they have a weak retreat game, so he just kept pressing. But he did it safe to avoid getting countered by them because they are taller. Terminus versus Vendor. Shield's low, hips are square. Baiting board side shoulder here on... Vendor's baiting his board side shoulder. Again, I'm Terminus in the ring. If you can imagine, I'm Terminus. Vendor's throwing a pop shot. Vendor lured him basically backwards. Let's rewind this. Terminus getting a little antsy. Oh, I can't see the cone. I guess going out is dead. It's a shame. Okay, Terminus versus down spear again. If I'm Terminus, I'm closing range. Oh, he's choking up. He intends not to stab with that. Oh, Terminus. Terminus just try to hit him in the body instead of concerning himself with his sword, his opponent's sword. Okay, down spear guy versus smiley face shield. If I'm down spear guy and I've been watching happy face guy shield, in his footwork, so he has still crossing his feet. I'm going to pump fake a stab with the down spear. Maybe I'll stab him in the hand, and then as he circles, I'm going to pump fake, or I'm going to feint towards his sword side. He's going to overcompensate, and his feet are going to be crossed, at which point I would throw a board side shoulder. That's unfortunate. Down spear guy really likes high crosses. Bad option. In that case, he could have pump faked the high cross and actually came board side shoulder. But you got to act faster. There's opportunities when your opponent's closing ground where you can throw so many feints because one, you have a range discrepancy in the down spear, right? They can't attack you, you can attack them. Then they have to close range inside that down spear range. Then you can hit them with down spear and your short sword. There's so many opportunities to move and throw feints in those ranges. It's insane. Okay, if I'm this guy, I know Jamie likes to throw high crosses. I also know she likes to counter. Also, she throws very, very deep high crosses. I would probably hit her in the leg and then make her fight for my knees and try to hit her in the board side shoulder. He got lowered in. Jamie did a very good job at luring him in with the money shot and then countering with high crosses. Ferrex versus Jamie. If I'm Ferrex, oh, I'm Jamie, that's right. Went in a little bit fast there. I probably would have tried to feint in towards Ferrex's sword side and then hit him in the butt. Ferrex, I would pump fake across and then pump board side shoulder and stab them with my down sword, just like that. The down sword is so good an open weapon, and it's always a threat you need to be using. I'm glad Ferrex is using it more. Vendor versus Ferrex. Okay, Vendor's doing a behavior here that is basically indicative of saying, hey, I want you to attack me. Let's back it up a little bit. Vendor's kind of rocking forward. He's going to pump his hand at Ferrex, threatening to do something, but really he's trying to draw Ferrex into an attack. Ben's going to take the bait, add his own feint, or combo really, and then kill him, which is the appropriate thing to do. Anytime someone's baiting you, you can mix up throwing hard stimuli, direct stimuli and indirect stimuli. Attacking their hand versus feinting. You can kind of mix those things up and get past the opponent's counter. In this case, I like that Ferrex opened up with a direct attack to Vendor's hand. It's good because no matter what counter Vendor was going to throw, it didn't matter because Ferrex was contacting his hand. And when your hands are close together, you can basically deny a lot of attacks. So Ferrex was able to counter press with his own combination and feints and stuff like that, which is great. Oh, they side-mode. That's unfortunate. Okay. Terminus died last time to down spear guy. He needs to be a little bit more patient and probably just stab this guy. And don't be too concerned with his down spear at this point. Yeah. Stabs, dark sides, it didn't matter. But yeah, he basically just attacked his opponent's down spear to remove it out of the equation when he was closing range. Now it's basically a single sword versus sword and shield and sword battle because his opponent did not know how to use his down spear in an exchange. And he just threw dark sides. You can use stabs for that too. And basically you're just covering your sword arm and your shoulder while you're trying to stab them in the body. Good stuff by Terminus. Terminus versus Polearm. His Polearm, okay. His opponent's using an underhand grip. It's not a terribly short polearm. It's not very well. I don't know how well. I don't want to make a judgment call on it. I don't know how well constructed it is, but something tells me perhaps this is not the most efficient thing for this individual to use. Okay, he switches to pole side forward. So his opponent's going to try to throw at his. The polearm guy's going to try to attack Terminus's board side shoulder and then feint low towards his legs or his hips. So Terminus needs to be cautious about how he closes range here. Block the leg, hit the arm. Oh, he used the butt spike. Okay, yeah, the butt spike didn't count. His opponent's showing a Termus' opponent is showing a willingness to back up. He's trying to bait out an attack. His opponent doesn't like aggressing because it seems like he doesn't have good setups. If I'm nice. He got hit in the arm. Good counter. Yep. If I'm Termus there, I probably try to block strike a little bit more and then try to all or nothing him and try to get a Simo. In the case like this, you're trying to deny your opponent's points. That's all that really matters. I don't know. Didn't catch this guy's name. Him versus Jamie. Let's see if Jamie hits him in the body with this attack. He's pump faking down. I'm not really sure what his objective is. He should know at this point that Jamie's going to try to throw a high cross at some point, and probably a high cross as a counter. So pump faking his hand down. I'm not really sure what his goal there is. He luckily hit her in the arm, I guess. Just throwing board side shoulder. I would try to pump fake towards their legs. Yeah. Let me go back. He got lucky that they were attacking low when he threw his board side shoulder. The thing about those cases is when you're throwing multiple board side shoulders, you basically want to do something to where you're like, instead of just throwing straight board side shoulder as a direct attack, I would probably start attacking low and maybe start at their hand. You start at their hand or the leg to try to get that shield to move. Because his opponent's center of gravity is so high and their legs are close together, typically that type of person is going to overcompensate by using their shield to block instead of getting low and backing up, which draws the shield out of position. You can just hit the board side shoulder easier. Vender's probably going to, if I'm this guy, so if I'm fighting Vender, I know that Vender's probably going to try to throw an underarm counter or a cross counter or something. I would possibly initiate with maybe try to throw a dark side or something just to close range. It's typically a good counter for that. He could also just bait Vender's attacks out. Vender's really wanting to bait him here. Yeah, under sidearm. He missed, luckily. Okay, so at this point, I know that Vender's throws multiple counters, either counter to the arm with the underarm attack, or he's throwing a money shot as a counter. If I'm this guy, I'm probably going to just try to get past Vender's hand and pin his hand for a second, maybe with a flat cross or something to where I'm not going to get hit in the arm or get in the hip, and I'm probably just going to hit him in the leg. That's what I would do. It's unfortunate. Vender versus Ferrix. I'm Vender. Kind of baiting out Ferrix's attacks. Ferrix's stance is pretty high here. Similar guard I've mentioned before, where the shield's a little high, the sword's kind of covering that hip and that leg, and then the sword arm is also high. I would probably do something where I would probably try to work towards his sword side. And when I say work, I mean attacking his sword side, just to see what opens up, to see if that, by pressing towards that sword side with my movement and some of my attacks, to see if his weapon, or see if his shield side opens up a little bit. Vender kind of walked into range here and didn't quite control his opponent as much as he probably thought he did. Vender probably needed to make a better read on Ferrix's movement. Ferrix obviously was not intimidated by anything that Vender was going to do, so he just attacked him when he came into range. It's important to know when threats are actually threats and when things can actually hit you. With Ferrix's guard consolidated like that, he didn't really have to worry about a lot of things because Vender hasn't shown that he's willing to dedicate himself to that type of attack or something that could kill you right away. You know, he's been baiting out attacks and stuff like that. If I'm Ferrix here, I'm closing range against the down spear. Very important thing. We're going to back up here. That I love that Ferrix does. Ferrix is going to cross the line of the polearm here, right there. Ferrix's sword is down. That down spear is back. The down spear is going to take a long time to get into the fight, and Ferrix has already blocked that line of attack. And here we're going to see in a second that the down spear is actually going to extend, and the line of attack is still blocked. Now, anything that guy does with that down spear that isn't a shoulder stab is going to be blocked by the line of that down sword. Ferrix isn't worried about that down spear. those dark sides. Ferrex goes Polearm here. Polearm is using that underhand stab or the underhand grip. It's good for stabbing. It's not. It's good for outside arm attacks. If I'm Ferrex here, I'm probably gonna bait that Polearm to come out and just close ground and kill that guy. I don't think that hit him. Let's look at that Polearm stab. No, stuff that attack. Yeah. Polearm guy needed to throw more attacks there, not just let Ferrex get into range. I'm Ferrex versus Terminus. I'm probably going to do the same thing I did last time, where I'm going to pump fake towards his Terminus's hand, keep him in place for a second while Terminus is closing ground, and then throw a counterattack as he moves in. And when I say counterattack, guys, I'm not talking about blocking and attacking. I'm talking about moving and attacking at the exact same time. To me, that's what a counter is. At least that's how it's described in like Jeet Kune Do and stuff like that. A counter is just when you both move at the same time. And because Terminus is generally the one moving forward, he's going to be open as he moves forward and as he's attacking. Attacking your opponent while they're attacking is also a good time to kill them. Yeah. See, even how Ferrex dedicates to this money shot, he just waited for Terminus's guard to come back up, and he threw a dark side. It's the exact same concept. Throw an attack, stay in space, and then throw counters when they close range on you. When your opponent's dedicated to always coming forward at you, that's what you should do. That's common sense, at least. You don't have to do it. If I'm Ferrex here, I'm going to try to not get hit by this cross shot and probably hit Jamie in the leg. Oh, he won the high cross battle, so that's all that matters. He probably made a read that earlier Jamie, when she throws high crosses, that she tends to leave herself stuck in that space. Like when she throws high crosses, she's kind of stuck there for a second because her weight comes forward and it comes high, and then her position stays there. So if an opponent is temporarily frozen in place like this because of maybe they're in position, maybe they've messed up their positioning or something, it's always a good time to, if you have the better position with your feet, to move around them and win the position. Yeah, Ferrex is able to use that Shion dark side. Or that Shion high cross. I wouldn't have walked into them like that, Ferrex. Nice. Ferrex going to be a little bit more conservative there. Probably attack their arm before he attacked their leg. Let's see. This is Vendor. If I'm them, I'm going to hit Vendor in the leg. We'll go back to that. They're messing with Vendor. They dedicated too early to the dark side. The dark side's best to use as a counter to the high cross, and if you throw it right away, it has not as good usage. Let's go back. Vendor didn't quite deal with the down spear as best as he thought he did. He really needed to push it out and not block it. So he taps it, but then his sword comes high, breaking his physical contact to the down spear. And because his opponent is moving away from Vendor, his opponent has more time to actually use the down spear to do other things and create space between him and Vendor. Vendor's footwork here actually kind of messes him up. Yeah, they really hit that boundary line. If I'm down spear guy, nice shoulder stab. That was a good shoulder stab. Use your opponent's complacency against them. And also, I want to note this because it's important. Terminus starts sword foot forward. He's sword foot forward with his hips square, meaning he's presenting the widest possible target to be able to be stabbed by. When you're getting stabbed by things, or really anything that's on a narrow line of attack, you kind of want to hide as much yourself behind your shield as possible, or keep your guard really tight to your shield so that there's no openings here. But because Terminus's sword is low, he's going to get stabbed. Yeah, that pocket's open. Yeah, he didn't get hit by anything. Little unnecessary to throw the money shot, but it's whatever. He could have hit his opponent in the leg. Be more efficient in bear pits. It's unnecessary to lose. 2 new in. Guy's positioning is pretty high still. Jamie's is pretty low. She's probably going to, at this point, she may have thrown a money shot had he not moved forward. He's going to move forward, so Jamie's going to throw a high cross or a boardside shoulder. He should have known. Jamie is going to throw high crosses. He's fought her before. If there were better macro use here, he would have known that Jamie just throws high crosses, and she's very good at them. So in those cases, if you're afraid of them, you can bait them out, or you can press on them and attack somewhere else. There's steps to this kind of stuff. If I was Jamie, I'd hit their leg, because they're really high on that leg. Oh, good call. 2 new. Vendor comes out hot. Trying to see what's going on here. Good call. Last fight here. Ferrex versus Down Spear. He doesn't have his down sword. Nice. So I like here, he's actually baiting the down spear to do something crazy. And he just gets him to overcommit and gets a shield on it. Yeah. If you have the down spear, you can command range however you want and shouldn't do stuff like that. So, yeah, anyways. So I hope this has maybe been inspiring or enlightening to some of you. If you guys have questions about stuff like that, I like talking about macro and versus micro skills and stuff like that. If you have questions about learning how to read your opponent and make decisions, just let me know. I'm Adam Harrigan on Facebook. You can DM me. You can post it in the comments. It doesn't matter. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching my show, and I'll check you later. Bye.